Welcome back. We already reached day 6, so wonderful to have this time together, and we'd be happy to hear your accumulated experience and reflections. Thank you so much for the questions already sent. I have a quote which I will tell you the first part, and I'd like you to share your thoughts. It says, "The greatest danger in times of turbulence is not the turbulence." So, what would you say it is, the greatest danger when there is turbulence or upheaval, which many are facing right now? So, what is the danger if it's not the turbulence from what we've discussed? So, this is, by the way, half a quote by Peter Drucker, and something to reflect on. But here he completes the quote. "The greatest danger in times of turbulence is not the turbulence, it's to act with yesterday's logic." It's so fascinating because if you apply it to some of these principles or reality of seeing ourselves as that invisible traveler or that perspective, then turbulence is very much seen in a different way with understanding. And yesterday's model of understanding Vinash forces, we can see how and why there is turbulence. And in connection with this introspection and map of the mind, I really like this quote by Carl Sagan, astronomer. He said, "Don't believe everything you think. Question your own assumptions and challenge your own beliefs and seek evidence." So it's wonderful not to be slave to just the prompts that we might be getting if we are in the lower consciousness. We've seen the different heads of Raven will have his ideas, but this option to question with rationality and the sanctity of this invisible witness perspective. So, welcome, and I'd like to bring in Vishanta. Good morning. Thank you.
Thank you, and hello, and good morning. I appreciate your perseverance and interest, and hopefully, your homework, personal effort. Let us start with another minute of attention. And game changes the moment the invisible witness becomes conscious. And he is seeing the story with independence. He is aware of his world beyond. Invisible witness, he silently is aware. He is very, very lucky. He has his world, his family and his world of immortality. It is like winning a biggest prize. On one hand, it is immortal, but also beyond harm. Not even the slightest harm can come in his world. Forever. He can afford to be totally carefree. Such is the truth. He knows everyone is lucky. also understands the huge success of Maya to bring them into that little story and give them an ego and then get them trapped in that ego-based life. Huge success of Maya. We understand we can come out of this Maya as a community, as a human family. Thank you. So let us come back to our famous board, whiteboard, looking for. Quickly revising some of the ideas we have spoken. Revisit. The first thing we have been talking about is our grand physical world. And we saw that we are just travelers through this physical world. Invisible travelers passing through this physical world, world of glitter and gold and lots of goodies in this world. And we are exposed to these goodies continuously. If the invisible traveler is sensible, he is not deceived by this world of goodies. He is aware, just like you are going through a park and it is nice, the park, and he has a journey. But we also know this factor of pull, this downward spiral acts from the first day. And we saw how it creates havoc, from a life of silent bliss and fullness and contentment, society of immense love and egoless, viceless, world of perfection and celebration, continuous and eternal. This is their reality. And the same ones are creating ego. They are the ones who lead a life where it is ruled by ego. They themselves are zombies. All these ego, we call them Ravan and the demon within us. And the life of the demon continuously is sad, bad, mad. It may be conscious, it may be subconscious, but all these factors are there. Because victim comes from the first second, victim personality. So he has got something to worry about, something to complain about. This is all sad, bad, mad. And it may take all forms and ready to fight and declare a war. In the extreme, one side is extremely divine, other side it can become really demonic. And at present, we are at that level, in the lower end of the spiral. Going further down, that is the direction of the world. we are seeing how we can change the direction. And we said that is the simple thing we can do. If we want to do anything to this civilization, that we have to change this direction. Otherwise, that downward direction will brings its Vinash forces, and it has power to destroy. Now, what we are going to speak today, we are going to see our journey. It is more like so far we have been addressing psychology part of it. So today we are going to see in a little bit of sociology how this inner life affects our society. So our journey in this world, here it is shown in a simple model. We have an entrance, we have an exit. It appears as if it is a one life, we come and we go. But we also saw video and we had some discussion on reincarnation. So we saw that it's a journey not of the camel, it's a journey of the invisible actor. It is not a journey of Cinderella, it's a journey of the actor, invisible traveler. And invisible traveler is immortal. So he doesn't need to play just one part and go. We see that he plays more than one part. And in fact, there is more detail. Our journey in this physical world. It is a drama, it's a story, but there are details how that story unfolds. And we can call it sociology. I feel what we are going to discuss today, it is like the beautiful aspect of sociology, which should go in the sociology books. If you got connections with sociology world, then they should come to know about this model. So the details of our journey from the time we come in the physical world until we live, we are going to discuss this. But before that, anything Sarah want to add or ask?
Yeah, there were a couple of questions which I could perhaps ask now. That's okay.
Yeah.
When we understand the soul as a witness separate from the drama, and we realize it, what's the need for the soul to change the drama by fighting with Maya and Ravan? When one knows one is not part of the drama, whether it's
No,
vice
he's
or
fighting with Ravan and Maya, not to change the drama. It is to bring himself out of confusion. It is to help the traveler. It is to help the actor. Actor is confused, and we want to take actor out of confusion. It might affect the drama, and of course, it will, and that is also nice. But his primary focus is on the real world.
Yeah, helpful. So everything is happening. The fundamental significance is actually happening at the subtle level. Is devotion a source of Maya? And if then, how?
Is devotion Maya? We did not mention that in our discussion, but what we can say, just the devotion by itself is not a problem, but the claim that either some structures, religions, they can say we can purify you, or here is God. That claim And that can deceive Sita. Sita feels, yeah, here is Ram that is going to free me. Sita is looking for Ram. Sita knows she will get help from Ram. But when, and then she starts worshipping the statue of Ram, because that is what she's told, the statue will protect you. But what really happens in the name of Ram, Ravan is protected. All the heads of Ravan are protected. And Sita is, busy, worshipping statue of Ram. And when Ram actually comes, she says, now I'm not looking for you anymore because I got a statue. She already got attached to the statue. So these structures that exist at the moment, they are as if corrupted by Maya. And Maya is using these structures for Ravan. So this is possible, and that's what we see around us. And like, for example, Christmas. Is Ravan challenged on the Christmas day? It is a main day for billions of souls, and they are all talking about God, God, God. And what happens on Christmas day? All the 10 heads of Ravan are looking for Christmas, waiting for the month of December, especially in Cambridge. So that structure is corrupted by Maya. So we don't say devotion is wrong, but we need to approach it with caution. If we are looking for victory over Ravan, then that is not enough.
Yeah. Self-evident. Yeah, thank you. Very helpful. No other questions right now. Thanks.
Yeah. So here we are going to see our journey in the physical world. And we said there is an entry and there is an exit. It is a journey of the soul, not the body. And the journey of the soul, we go through many phases. Soul goes through many phases. Just like, say, in the life of an individual. He's a baby at one time. He's a schoolboy. If you see the photographs, you see the changes. Then he's an adult and a manager. Then he's an old man. Then he's very old. So you go through. The people change completely. Sometimes someone I knew very well, when she was 18 years of age, say. Then I see after, for some reason, I didn't see her for many years, see again. She is completely different, different category altogether, grandmother or something like that. And so it sort of really uh, makes you question how this world changes. But same happens in the world of the soul also. We go through these different phases. And I will give you the list of these phases we are going through. One phase is called the Brahmin phase. And I will quickly go through this and then we will go through the details. Brahmin phase is a student life. And during this phase, the person has love for knowledge. The soul, he absolutely gravitates to books and want to study, read. So you will get in your village, town, in your family, someone who is just all the time with books. Not everyone. Others are playing with toys, but someone wants books. The result of the student life is the next phase. We call it the deity phase. Deity phase. What's the energy of the deities? What will you say?
Dignity?
We use the word
Morality?
happiness. That the next to deity phase, we call it the warrior phase. So the journey of the soul may be in the deity phase for many births, then he gradually comes in the warrior phase, and warrior phase, love, its and dominant energy is courage, and courage will have its different forms also. But he cannot access happiness. Deity phase is always happy. In the warrior phase, his dominant energy is courage. Happiness is there, but different. And after warrior, the next phase he comes in, we call it merchant. And merchant, he is not even having this energy of courage. So at this stage, he is looking for easy life, comfort, easy, comfortable life. And after merchant phase comes the Shudra phase. So Shudra phase, he is running out of all energy. So there is laziness. And these phases are for each and every soul, so they may be in South America, North America, they may be in one religion or another religion, they may be different races, but it's a journey of the soul. Just like everyone becomes old, everyone becomes grandmother, or some, in the same way here, everyone goes through the phases of the warrior, merchant, Shudra, regardless of their journey. They may believe in God, don't believe in God, believe in soul, don't want to know about soul, but they are going through these phases. And in one family, you might find one person is in the deity phase, someone in the Brahmin phase, and some are merchants. You may find that cross section in one city. If the percentage of the Shudra is greater, then you will see the structure of city on the streets, how the city presents. If the ratio is different, that city is different, town is different. After Shudra, we call the next phase, it is called demon. And at this point, demon is life, taking sorrow, giving sorrow. Deities take happiness, give happiness. And when we come in the demon, it is virtually opposite of the deity. So they deal with sorrow, taking sorrow, giving sorrow. And what happens after demon? After demon, we come back into the Brahmin phase. So it is not a forever down, but it is anything that is eternal, stays in a cyclical, model. And so the journey of the soul goes through these different phases: Brahmin, to the Shudra, demon, and then Brahmin again. So there's all these phases. So we will see now what happens in the Brahmin phase. We said one who is in the Brahmin phase, there is definitely love for knowledge. They know where the libraries are, they know where the bookstalls are, they know the latest editions where you can get, they are up to date on that front. You know, that deeper interest is in this. I'll give you one example. This one girl, she a few sisters, and she says the parents they would go to someone, their friends, and the children go to the family, host family. And this girl, she will take her books with her. Others are taking their toys with them. And they play with the toys. And this girl will find a little corner somewhere where there is light, sit there, go through her books. When it is time to come back, she collects her book, come back. She cooperates with the parents to go there, but her interest is to read her things. Others are happy. Some are going there to play, some are going there to eat. Depends upon where the soul is, which level the soul is. So one has love for knowledge. The larger life of a Brahmin, there will be simplicity. One who is in the Brahmin phase, there will be cleanliness. Everything is clean in the life of a Brahmin. Outer cleanliness, inner cleanliness, that is important for one who is in the Brahmin phase. Simple, it is easy to maintain. One who is in the Brahmin phase, he tends to have responsibility for the community, takes a small responsibility, thinks of how there can be hygiene, how there can be, pays attention to things. It becomes a trustee, in a natural way. So community service, that is very, also because he's having love for knowledge, he knows how things can be done. He knows what is right thing, what is, he might think of having a library in his town, great opportunities of different kind. One who is in the Brahmin phase, he may have search for God, love for God, but that may be important for him. God as a symbol of wisdom, with that meaning. It is not that all factors are there, but you will find as in typical Brahmin, they naturally gravitate in that direction. And there will be some kind of a structure in every community. There is some structure where those who are in the Brahmin community, they tend to go in this direction. They may be lucky. Okay, one is in the Brahmin phase and he wants to read, he wants to read. But he may be lucky to come across the spiritual knowledge. Brahmin doesn't necessarily mean you are getting the spiritual knowledge. But if he is lucky to get that, then they become deities. You need the highest access to the highest knowledge. That spiritual knowledge goes to the warrior. He doesn't appreciate it. But one who is in the Brahmin phase, he will do something with it because he is thirsty for knowledge. If he comes across the right knowledge, as we said, then the next phase is the deity phase. And those who are in the deity phase, we said their love for, then naturally there is a happiness. Their dominant energy is happiness. But there are deities. One is happiness, but they give happiness. That personality, everyone likes them naturally. So those who are in the deity phase, they are perfect friends. They naturally remain positive. For example, if someone has 10 defects, one virtue, they see the virtue. 10 things going wrong, one thing going right. They see that what is right thing. They do everything with happiness. Happiness means they do it with happiness, and that is a motivating factor for them. If they are asked to wash these 10 pots, big pots, they will do it with happiness. It is not a hated compulsion. That is different energy. Energy of the deities is, and happiness comes with friends. Those who are in that happy phase, they are also loving and they are also, mm, content. So all those other factors come. They are easy personality. They want to make others happy. They will be able to adapt whatever anyone. Okay, if they can manage, they will fit in. They will adjust. Those who are in the deity phase, they are like, you can say, perfect man. Others will feel there is a perfection here. Sometimes people say so and so is not from this planet. Means they just think so differently. Everyone else just means everyone else is in one level, and here is another deity. He thinks differently. He thinks clean inside. He doesn't hold any grudges. Doesn't. There are no traumas. They just remains light about things. Because the mind is clean, and it will reflect through the body also. So you will find if you go through the medical history, there will be no problems, health problems. And some problems might arise at a certain age, but they are easy to treat also. Those who are in that phase, they can be treated easily. They don't need to take vaccine. Those who are in the other phases, but they will not be fighting for the anti-vaccine lobby. They are more casual. But vaccine, no vaccine, they come out of the problem easily. They're also lucky in life. They're lucky. With health, they're lucky. Life, they're lucky because there are no Vinash forces. Inner life is is more soul conscious. Deity just means they are more soul conscious. What others want to achieve, they give the fragrance of that stage, those who are in the deity phase. Deities, they may go to Mount Everest, but they do it out of happiness, not for competition. They love walking. I mean, you meet some people, they just like to walk, sort of, they'll enjoy their own company. They enjoy company of others also, but they just like to walk. They like to climb on their own. They don't come and tell others, I climbed here and I went there. They they enjoy their own company. That is the deity phase. Any comments? Anything you want to add?
I like this idea that everything we do in a way is motivated to get that experience of that stage. But it's amazing that the method we use might be quite contradictory to what that phase is, but actually it embodies what each individual remembers, and also nations, as their heyday, like the best. And it expresses differently, of course, in each culture. One comment, we can notice glimpses of the deity phase now as well.
Yeah, in some individuals, you will see they are in that phase. Deities are the ones, if you're looking for a friend, you will find you are looking for the deity. They are perfect friends, because in their presence you are uplifted, and they bring out the best in others. So they're perfect men, perfect friends, perfect patient. They're lucky themselves. It is a fresh air, those who are in the deity phase. Warrior, so there is a change. Deities don't stay deities forever. There is a change. And so when they are in the warrior phase, what happens? There is we said they can't access happiness. So the next best is courage. And courage takes different forms. It may take the form of risk taking. So not everyone has got this tendency to take risk, but it takes the form of adventure. But it may also take the form of competition. It may take the form of comparison. Those who are warrior, the impure version of it, they like to dominate. Even though the word warrior is used, it doesn't mean they are fighting all the time, but they have this energy. They have a huge possibility of tolerance, endurance that others may not have. That ability to tolerate, that is very easy for the warriors. There are some stories. There was one guru and a disciple, and disciples, he used to take only Brahmin disciples. But this one warrior, he chose, pretended to be Brahmin, and he was his disciple. But one day, the guru had asked him to sit in a certain place and not move. So he sat there and did not move. But one insect, you know, you know, came, burrowed it through his thigh, went through his thigh, and there was blood. So when Guru came and saw that, there is blood there. So what happened, blood? He said, this millipede or centipede passed through his thigh. But he did not move because he was told not to move. He didn't want to disturb the guru. So guru immediately understood he's not a Brahmin, he's a warrior. He's coming from the warrior clan. So this something of this kind is not possible for the Brahmins. Like even today, there's those who have gone to the moon. Just the thought of it, and you may get lost there. You may those who are in the warrior phase, they love that kind of life. Little challenge and little risk, and some others will say better we stay behind. Why bother? We will see the photographs anyway. I'm not saying it is necessarily amazing, but they have the possibilities. Those who are in that warrior phase, but because they are in that phase, they also like to rule. They don't want to just they dominate their role. They're ready to fight. They can tolerate. They can endure. You will see these examples, in every community. Like one example, is when there was this government change in Afghanistan. There was some president in Afghanistan, and this Taliban were reaching Kabul. So this commander of the Taliban was told, why not? You got rest of Afghanistan, let Kabul be separate. He said, no, we are going to take over Kabul. But there is a president there. He said, either he will get killed or I get killed. But we are not going to leave the Kabul, separate. That president who was there, appointed by America, he took money and left overnight, left Kabul, went to Bahrain or somewhere, and you take over Kabul. This gives you an idea. One was a merchant and one was a warrior. Warrior, they don't mind dying. And die, kill, that is not a problem for them. They are ready to die also. They are ready to kill. Whereas merchants, the money is more important for them. They don't want to fight. So this is the warrior life. May I ask a question? How did one who was a Brahmin, and then he becomes a deity, how he becomes a warrior? He was a deity. Why did the deity become a warrior? Even those who heard it before, you can answer.
He degraded his qualities. So maybe it's like over time it became less.
And how did that happen? Degradation?
Like an entropy over time because of the Vinash forces. Forget who they are gradually, losing yourself in the drama.
Yes, so what really happens is you just need to create first attachment in this unpredictable box. You just need to create one attachment, and what you get is fear, because now you can lose it. Maybe 1%, but there is a fear, subconscious, conscious fear. And in your system, you put one drop of poison, it spoils the deity system. Deity life is happiness. You bring little fear in it, little insecurity in it. It's a different. And so you can't experience happiness anymore. That's why courage, where there is fear, you need courage to overcome. So the warriors, they are moving in that direction. They can't access happiness the way deities. Deities can access it because there is no fear, no drop of poison. That's why they are deities. That's why we said clean. Inside out, they're clean. There is no trauma, no grudges, no guilt, no blame. You need to be 100% to grasp this deity mind. But warriors, something has come in. Little bit of something, some impurity has come. And so next level. Another question. We said deities will climb onto the Mount Everest with happiness. They go every day to Mount Everest after breakfast, but they don't speak about it. How will the warrior go to Mount Everest?
Without so much lightness, flaunting it, someone has said, like with more pomp. They tell everyone about their adventure, putting their flag, proving himself to others, maybe in a race, sort of competitive way.
That's right, yes. So warrior will go there with their flag. Warrior, we want to get there before you. When a warrior want to claim it, that this is mine. They want to rule. They want to all these things. And definitely they will put the photograph in their, it will go somewhere in magazines. Deities, they are not bothered about photograph. They enjoy that moment. Next moment is also a great moment. How many photographs will you take? Whereas for warrior, this is the moment. It is ultimately, at last, I have reached here. So that is the warrior personality. But warriors don't stay warriors forever, we said. Warriors find themselves in the next phase, and that is the merchant. And merchant, what happens with merchants? They don't have courage. They don't have that energy of courage. So their priority is to stay safe. That is their most important thing. To keep themselves safe. Their belongings and that is why they choose a lifestyle which is like the merchant. There is not huge risk in it. You can rule no problem. Just buy my computers. This kind of arrangement that suits them. Those who are in the merchant phase, they will definitely have lots of obsession with money and word my, that is very important for the merchant. At any level, my ownership. Those who are in the merchant phase, they have tendency towards opulence. Means they want to show off their wealth. They want to show how much. their big car, and that is important. They might not need the car, but they need the car to show others that way I'm wealthy. And they want to glitter, and they want to diamonds, and they want to make that statement. Brahmins may also end up having a lot, but Brahmins don't want to show. It is not an important thing for Brahmins, whereas for the merchant, that is very important. They talk about money, they talk about wealth. Other thing that is important for merchant is food. Food and money, that is an important area. How will the merchants go to Mount Everest? Maybe Philip can tell us, how will merchants go to Alps? How will they climb?
Might be close enough to observe. Someone has written they don't. Someone else in the BMW. Someone with a lot of food items. Big picnic. Helicopter.
Yeah, merchants will not go to Mount Everest, but they will sell the tickets. They will arrange tours. They will print special cards and brochures. They will. Their interest is how to make some commission from this. That is, their brain works that way. Not importance is not Everest. So in one terminology, those are Brahmins. We can call them ectomorph. It is a term, and the brain develops from ectoplasm, and there are certain personality or body builds. They are usually tall, thin. They are ectomorphs. Those who are warriors, we can call them mesomorphs. Muscles develop from mesoplasm. So they are naturally built is muscular built, and these are mesomorphs. And those who are merchants, they can be called endomorphs. Our endoplasm leads to digestive system. So they have good digestive system. No problem with what they eat. They are usually fat. Those who are endomorphs. And ectomorphs, they are tall, thin with glasses, carrying books. They are Brahmins. Merchants, how did warriors become merchants? Because of more attachments. The warrior, they had some little just beginning, but then they create more attachment. And my this and my this and dog and cat and children, grandchildren, and house, and they have to pay license here and tax here. They got so many commitments and such expansion. So adventure is not their priority anymore, or risk taking is not their area. But merchants, they create more attachments and they find themselves in the next phase. And next phase is a Shudra phase. And in the Shudra phase, there is no energy. They're running out of all the energies. So when they are in this phase, there is laziness. Laziness of head, it presents as dullness. Those who are in the Shudra phase, they naturally gravitate towards indulgence. So one side there is laziness, other side they use the language hits. They had chocolate. What next? Maybe coffee. What next? Maybe watch some video. And they want next hit. That indulgence. Why? Why there is an indulgence? You can tell what is happening.
Sign of feeling empty, maybe. More attachments. Yeah, others agreeing with that. Attachments. Less self-control, so more subservient to sense pleasures, need of stimulation, easy access to things in today's culture, requiring external stimulants, and
Yeah.
for security, for to feel full.
Now what we are seeing is all along the Ravan's department is getting bigger. And as you are going down the spiral, creating more attachments, Maya and Ravan are fully in action. Ravan is getting the nourishments. And as Ravan gets bigger, there are more hits. So this is what dominates the life of the Shudra. So as a result, there is unclean. If you go to the house of the Shudra, what will you see? You will get a typical scenario. Things are unclean. The television is possibly still on. They are asleep. This kind of a scenario you will get a house of a
Sounds like a
Hindu.
student house, to be honest.
Yeah, you go to the house of a Brahmin. What will you see? You will see simplicity, cleanliness, some photographs or slogans, but they are meant for inspiration, meant for progress, some ideas for communities, service, something going on here at that level. Maybe God, that is also going on, but a environment of study, that is the atmosphere of the Brahmin world. Go to the house of a deity, there will be natural perfection. Others will feel less expense, more taste, because they are rich in head, rich in heart, rich in head. So they can intelligently do something and it appears just nice, just perfect. So not a lot of expense, but tastefully done. That is the household of the deity. Household of the warrior, what will you see? You will see the skin of a tiger somewhere. You will see some weapons, guns, swords, photographs of their ancestors with medals. That is the household of a warrior. Household of a merchant, what will you see? Go to the house of a merchant. There will be Financial Times somewhere. There will be
Big
some.
TV.
Hmm?
Big TV.
Yeah, the Apple TV. And there'll be some glitter, so everything shiny and big, everything Encyclopedia Britannica, but no one has touched it. It is matching. The colors are matching with the roof. So everything perfect. Some experts have spent on it, but no one can reach that Encyclopedia Britannica. So you will see all this food, smell of food, of course. So the house of the merchant, house of the Shudra, we saw television going on full time, or some music going on full time. That is in the household of a Shudra. And Shudra, we said, they don't stay Shudra, they go to the next level, become demonic. And demonic, this personality is dealing with sorrow. Take sorrow, give sorrow. As was said, it is virtually opposite of the deity. Deity, take happiness, give happiness. And the demon, take sorrow, give sorrow. From nothing, they can distort everything and take sorrow. You say, how are you? They think you are meaning they are not well. What do you mean? Why are you asking me like this? And they want to take revenge from nowhere. You are in big trouble. So that is, but a whole range of that, Yeah, someone has got one defect and 20 virtues. He sees the defect and he tells others also, you don't know, you don't recognize people, you should know people. And so they know each one's defect. What is the defect of each one? And so world is terrible for them. 10 things going right, one thing going wrong. They constantly think about the one thing that may go wrong even. And their mind is busy. And as a result, negative. The mind is caught in the negative world. So what we are seeing here, we have seen this whole the range journey. Brahmin is the student life, deity is the result, Shudra is the preparation, demon is the result. Why Shudra? In the Shudra phase, he works for Ravan. When a hits means what? He's like full-time slave for Ravan. And whatever Ravan wants, no resistance to Ravan's demands. That is Shudra. Whereas Brahmin, he wins over Ravan. He removes Ravan. He recognizes Maya. So it is a student life. It leads to the deity personality, deity future. And the Shudra life creates the demonic society. If you see the world today, all the leaders, governments all over the world, they are in the merchant. They are in the merchant phase. That's why, and they are all the time talking about, money. That is most important for them. Finances. And merchants want Shudras. Shudras are the one who are spending. So merchants rely on Shudras. They will not really stop Shudra, because then they get less income, the merchants. And indirectly, they even promote Shudras. Even the governments which were popular, they invest on giving more licenses to pubs and creating casinos. This kind of there is a pull, and there is a pressure on them to go in that direction, and that is important for merchants. They don't care, so they promote Shudras, And then what you get in the next generation, you will get more demons because Shudras feed the demon. They feed Ravan. So we are in a very difficult situation in this. They are thinking of short term. Short term, they want to keep their budget and they want to win the election, but by they do this at the cost of the long term. Long term, we are creating demands. Okay, one question to you. If you were the president of your country, what will be your agenda? What will you offer? What will you do? What is unique about you if you are the president of the country?
Spiritual education.
Why?
Yeah, and I guess just to clarify what the aim would be, it would be family orientated, education and health, create more Brahmin-like personalities or promote that phase. Does that even need to be compulsory in all schools? Harmony.
Yeah, yes, the highest goal one can keep, very intelligent goal, create a deity community. That will be very intelligent goal. Why? If there is a deity community, they are happy. You got their mind right. They are richness of the heart, richness of the mind, and then everything will fall in place. What is happening right now? We are promoting the Shudra and the demon community. Imagine there is a country where they got lots of gold, lots of diamonds, and everything there, technology. But the population is Shudra and the demon. People are at this level. What will you get? You got diamonds, you got gold, you got technology, and all the cleverness is there. But people are in the Shudra and the demon. Oh, it is actually happening. They will buy machine guns with their diamonds, and they want more diamonds. They want the diamonds of others also. You will very soon get a complete hell. They will use technology to find new kinds of bombs so that they can get everyone else's gold. But their mind itself is enough to punish them. This is because this demon, they take sorrows. From nothing they can take sorrow. If you have a deity community, same country, if you have a deity community and no diamonds, no gold, they will create heaven. You don't need diamonds and gold at all for heaven. But just the minds are deity minds, and you get heaven. But we cannot say, today I'm going to become deity, or uh, government cannot pass a law, deity from tomorrow in the parliament. To create a deity community, they have to become students. And this is why we may be very, very clever to make this the Brahmin. There are people who are in the Brahmin phase. We just need to reach them and give them the option of spiritual knowledge. Because there is enthusiasm. They are thirsty, but they need to have access to the right knowledge. And then if the Brahmins bring about that change, they become deities. That is a huge success because then future you create a great future for the country, for the planet. But if you want to do this, you don't have to wait until you become the president. That is, it will be great, you become president and work for it, but you don't have to wait for it. No one can stop you, actually. If you want to promote the deity, you want to create deity community, no one will be able to stop you. If you are convinced, start with the self. That is always our goal. So let us hear from you. We said at the beginning, this is like a sociology. We are getting the insight, spiritual perspective. You are understanding sociology from another angle. It explains why society the way it is. At different times, some place they may have cultures, civilizations. Why the civilizations fall? Because those who were in that phase, they change gradually. Deities don't remain deities, warriors become merchants, and merchants become Shudras, and so the place changes. The rise and fall of each civilization. Deeper factors we are understanding. But now is the time for rise, understanding the secret for that.
A map to see through the society and the result of these actions at these different levels. It's very interesting. It takes time, I think, to reflect on this, because at this time it can be very confusing. But we definitely see a movement down the spiral. I think we could all probably agree on that. But the hope and the as if some renewal is happening is wonderful. There was a question earlier. Is it possible we would get clashes of values if we're with people in another phase in their mind or life? For example, one could be in the Brahmin or deity phase, and someone else is in the warrior or merchant phase.
Of course, there are different values, but there is no need of clash. Those who understand that is the way they are. It is just like you in your world there is a cat and there is a dog and donkey. They are all different. They all don't need to be the same. So you understand the variety and priorities, interests, and the one who is sensible navigates through all this, understands it is each one has his own strength and there are limitations.
The deep point, isn't it? And it comes back to seeing the world as a stage, that everyone has their part, but not losing the fact that the part can change also. But it's a deep acceptance. Is everyone called to become a Brahmin?
Yes, in this what we saw the chart, this is a chart for all the souls. Everyone have to go through these phases. Maybe for some the Brahmin phase may be very strong, and if that Brahmin phase is strong, their deity phase will last longer. It will be strong and last longer. Brahmin is a student life. Sometimes it happens in the journey of any student. There is a time which is very strategic here. If they get a good score, they can go to the right college. If they don't get a right score, they can't. It affects your whole future. And the same thing happens. Brahmin phase is a very strategic phase. If at that time one is a bit careless or there is is distracted or whatever. Brahmin phase is weak, then the deity phase will be shorter, and he may spend more time in the merchant, eating more, pasta. So that may be the journey. But we have this option to make the Brahmin phase strong. But everyone will have these all phases. They may just touch it, some. For some, deity phase may be the main one, and they still have to go through other phases, but deity phase may be the main one. For some, deity phase may be just passing through and spend more in other phases.
With the kind of traits that we have at present, are we able to find out which phase we belong to now and what lies in the future?
Yes, but regardless of which phase we are in, anyone can choose to be a student. We may have some mixed, some may have dominant one or the other, but we are all in the direction of the Shudra. And that is very, we are not having the great wisdom at present. So we have the option. Anyone can be a student, and it is good for them. Because once you are in the Brahmin phase, that is the only phase when there is a rise. You are going up. All the other phases, you are going down.
How do we know if we can kind of spot different traits? You might see all of them in a way. Is there a way to know?
Yeah. As we said, there is no need to analyze too much. Now the time is such, time is short. And since the Brahmin phase is the phase of the rise, we can choose to be a student. Then that is very sensible.
Yeah, it's clear. Sometimes it is collocated with the job. So someone who may be working in retail, manufacturing might think it's merchant, but could you clarify that?
Yeah. Even though we say here, the warrior, someone asked me, where do lawyers fit in here? But a lawyer may be a deity lawyer, maybe a merchant lawyer, it can be. So there are different jobs, One can be a merchant doing the job of a merchant, but inside maybe a deity, or Brahmin. Like there are people, I might not mention, but some who appears to be merchant, but they love to read books. They tell which are every month they tell which books are good to read. So they have read so many books in each month. I'm here talking of Bill Gates. Appears to be merchant, but inside there is a Brahmin there. So there are from the outer trade you don't know what the inner life is. There may be reason why they gravitate to one or the other, like warrior, those who are choosing to join some or certain activities, they may be deeper inside warrior also. I'll give you one example of the warrior in this country. Someone by name Bullimore. I think it is John Bullimore. He was solo sailing round the earth, and in the middle of the Pacific, his boat capsized, and everyone thought there was a big storm, so there was no chance of anyone surviving there in this. But their base, they were getting a signal coming from his his wireless. Every 3 days, they were getting a signal. So they thought it appears that he is alive, because there is a signal coming from him. So they asked the airlines flying in that direction and keep an eye, And one airline spotted one capsized, sailing boat in a certain location. So they asked nearby some Navy frigate to go there and find out. And they found him after some 6 weeks. He was still there in the freezing water. He managed to survive. Say he was like a hero. How you managed to survive all this time on your own in freezing water? So he came to this country, and some people want to make a film based on him and blah. In 2 weeks' time, as soon as he was fit, he left for his next sailing. He was not interested in the money. You know, he wanted to go back to his. These are like the, made. They are inbuilt in that warrior. Those who are merchant, they will say, "Oh wow, this is a chance to make money. You can become millionaire very quickly." But for warrior, their goal is something different. For Brahmins, they want wisdom. They don't want to. Okay, let me ask a question. We said, warriors will go to Mount Everest with a flag. Merchants will sell the tickets, will not go. Deities will go to Mount Everest with happiness. How will Brahmins go to Mount Everest? Those who didn't hear it, hear the question before they get first chance to answer. How will Brahmins go to Mount Everest?
Walking with a smile. Not interested? With books, maybe? The Kindle? Will not go.
Will not go. Why? Why will they not go?
Someone else said they've got nothing to bring or take if they do go. Why they won't go? Maybe they are not liking the idea of adventure, other priorities.
That's right. Yeah. So the Brahmin, but those who are in the Brahmin phase, their life is they got many things to do for this planet. Is it a priority to go to Mount Everest at the present time? What is happening to this planet? And the warriors, they are not thinking clearly. That's why they are in the spiral. Why they are into the downward spiral, because there is a confusion, and they can get into useless things, competition and comparison, and they are off the track. Whereas those who see this clearly, they say, "What? Why do you need to go to Everest? What a waste of time and resources. There is so much that need to be achieved at the present time over here." So for the Brahmin, the priorities are different, and to risk body, it is not that they are attached to the body, but why just risk and die? That he would rather use this time and the body for some higher cause. So Brahmin has a different priorities and a different game.
Would it be a good time for rooms?
Rooms, yeah, sure.
So, one question we could pose for the discussion: what is the method to create change, win over Ravan, and create a deity? So, is that okay?
Yeah, good, very good.
Okay, so just wait a few moments maybe to reflect on this one, and then we will open up. Thank you. Back, I sense there is a lot of rich sharing, and always appreciate a sort of a contrast, especially after this subject. And here it's the home beyond all of the phases. So let's create a moment together for this. Thank you. It has a special power to come into simplicity after going into expansion. Sort of feels so. We want to hold that inner joy and then grasping more of this journey through the box. So, welcome your thoughts, questions, insights. Meanwhile, welcome back to Prashant.
Hello. And so we heard the sociology, the details, but it is still the story. And that is interesting, very fascinating area to know the details. But our emphasis is to understand the real world beyond the story, and repeatedly to reset the invisible player. His world is disproportionately higher than any of this. These are all the variety. Golden age is nice, and deity phase is nice, and many things. But the truth is disproportionately higher than anything of the story. It is sweeter than the sweetest world that we can see here. Just as long as we keep that reset in our mind and understand that that we see this physical world also from the right position. In fact, that emphasis and that attention is what creates the deity phase. Deities are deities because there is no attachment. So let us hear some thoughts and maybe some comments from you.
Yeah, just a few comments towards the end of the session before the break. No need to conquer anything, live and let live. I was thinking about a concept I came across about sustainability. It's used, the concept of leapfrogging, that in worldly sustainability, countries which haven't gone through industrial revolution in the same way as the West are given the option, if there's an intelligent intervention, to go for clean technology straight away. And we see it in communications. They don't have to go through the same trajectory as other countries with putting in cables. They can go straight for the mobile technology. And I feel here as well, we don't have to go through the trajectory of sorrow if in our lives we haven't gone through and experienced extreme Shudra demon in the external sense, but inner life might be feeling, what is this life where the mind feels so much tied? And we can take the hint and create the intervention where we can go straight for the best, as if technology, in this case, best consciousness. So I feel this model is nice, and also it can work for others. And as you mentioned, anyone could be a student at any time, and then the journey can be more enjoyable one. There was one question: do you have any recommended inspiring reading? Because she said Brahmins are in the phase of reading.
And maybe Sarah may be able to recommend. Yeah, there are many things. Definitely, those who like reading, there is lots of literature.
Maybe the study which the course leads to of the Murli is the richest, because it is to understand the mind of the highest consciousness. That would be my initial thought, but we can certainly share.
To read and reflect, to digest. That is the important part. I want to ask another question here. We said and deities, they were talking about deities as perfect beings, and Brahmins are students. Students are not perfect. They are coming from the Shudra phase, and now they are Brahmins. But deities are already reached their destination. But we are showing Brahmins at the top. Why? Why Brahmins are shown higher than the deities? What will you, or is it wrong to show Brahmins higher?
I think the cogwheels are turning. They are in an upward spiral because the destination is a deity, highest consciousness. Because they're moving up.
Yeah, one nice way to see this society, you see that each of these clans, we use the word clan, deity clan, warrior clan. In each clan, they bring a certain mentality to the community. Their contribution, the net contribution, more subtle. For example, merchant, they're all doing something very appears to be very innocent, but they for them money is so important, so they don't mind manipulating for the sake of money. Just very simple, not they are not breaking the law, but within the law they will try to organize something. For example, You go to the shop and something is sold for 999 pounds. They are really meaning sometimes 999.99 also. So they are meaning they are selling it for 1,000. Why do they say 999.99? It is such a twisted thing that 1,000 makes it very straightforward. Why do they put it 999.99? The only reason,
To fool, someone said. Maya's cleverness?
yeah, they just want to
Marketing?
make you believe that you are getting a good bargain when it is not a good bargain. But they will go for it. If it works, they will go for it. If it's a deity, people say it is thousand pounds, but I am giving you the best product. Because deity, he operates from love. He loves the community, he loves the customers, so he wants to give the best to the customers. And he will do something that is extra, not necessarily what he's supposed to do, just get money and sell. He will do something extra. Those who are in the deity phase, but merchants, for them, money is the priority, and they do these things. They are here we give the example of some manipulation. Warrior, what do they bring to the community? They bring competition. Warriors are in competition. They draw others also into competition. Like if you see some people climbing the rock you will also feel, maybe I should join. I should also be climbing rock. I am not. I've never done this. So you feel you give up other things and start climbing the rock. And in the process, they are bringing distraction to the community. They are not. There are something that is main thing that is required, and their focus is somewhere else. Competition, resources are going there for the competition, and Shudra, they will break the law. They can go beyond because merchants, they will stay within the law. There is that sense. Shudra, the desperation is higher, so they can cheat, they can lie, to get their needs. So it is like a drug addict. He says he can do anything to get he can steal to get his drugs. So Shudra has this deeper desperation. He brings that to the community. Demon, demon can go into violence to get his. It is another level of degradation and sorrow. He doesn't care. It brings sorrow to others because his needs are bigger. And deities, they operate with love. They want to bring happiness to others. They bring that factor. And Brahmins, they bring everyone to the deity level. They, as was said, they rise. They represent uh, going up, but they bring others also. They bring community to the deity level, including themselves. That is like a huge contribution that community needs. And so the Brahmin, in the tradition also, Brahmins are seen as higher, and they are seen as deities. But knowing that they are students. And in other words, there are sometimes the reference deity Brahmin, that expression is used in the community. Be creating some time for practice. but very happy to hear some of your reflections. And we also, Sarah has got some announcements to make also.
Yes, so meanwhile, to mention, because of course tomorrow is last session, and we will be joined by Sister Genti, who will be sharing with us for last part. So just so you're aware, she's additional administrative head of Brahma Kumaris, based partially London, partially in India. So it's lovely that she's been able to create time to join us.
Yeah, she will join us from India, from Madhuban, which is the headquarters. And shall we hear some thoughts from Sanjay?
Sure, thank you. Yes, we realize that the good way to live a happy life as a deity, starting by being a good student as a Brahmin, and as every student in every college, they get also exams and papers, and just to see where they are at. So not to stop there, just to learn and study and go over the books again and again and write essays and etc. But face what we can call life, so the real life out there in this stage. Things will come, monsters, sharks, storms, whatever, and then the chance to really check, am I studying well? Am I in the right direction? Because eventually when we really practice these big pictures, we know this is a story, we are guests here, actors, nothing to do with this stage. This is the study of a Brahmin, or let's say myself. This is what I'm studying, this is what I'm practicing. So whenever a storm is coming, I'm going up, reminding myself this beautiful model of being a guest here. I'm not here not to be stuck here, but just to flying by, as we are saying sometimes. And this works, and then there are times that the feeling is light and happy and enjoyment, and it doesn't matter what's going on out there in the stage. And those moments are precious. It proves that the Raja Yoga works. Thank you.
Thank you. Let us create another few minutes of silence and attention. And easiest journey for us is to use paras. Game changes in a second. That's why easy. In a second, we see the story for what it is. And we are seeing the world beyond the story. World of silence, world of perfection. This is the real world. True family. They all are like living stars. And who is seeing all this? The invisible traveler. Right now, Prashant is talking here. He understands this is happening in the story. And the story is completely separate from his world. Thank you.
Thank you. Would the homework be to stay there?
Stay in that space. And even if you are coming here, it is the invisible traveler who is coming here. Story remains the story.
Nice. This invisible traveler just visiting. Something to experiment with. We've popped in the link to the recordings ongoing. So meet again tomorrow for last session. Thank you so much.